Hey everyone, how are we today? Just doing a quick all signs reading today. I don't know if everyone else is kind of feeling it, but the universe is being very finicky at the moment, not really wanting me to delve too much into things at the moment. So I'm just having to really, I've I honestly have started recording quite a few videos and it's just not gelling properly at the moment. So I just kind of have to roll with it at the moment. So I am just doing a super quick reading. I will just be using just the Soul's Journey lesson cards today. They're like an oracle deck, but more about personal lessons with it covers quite a lot of bases as well. All right, but I will just let everyone know, leave a comment on one of my videos and let us know, if there is something in particular you want us to read for in the near future. Also everyone that comments will go in the draw for a free personal reading. I'm drawing that when we hit 100 subscribers, so make sure you like and subscribe as well. I do really appreciate all the support, guys. Now I will be taking timestamps as we go, but today I'm going to be asking, in the weekly readings, we had a lot of change and new things coming out for pretty much everybody. A lot of big changes going on. Like I said, the universe seems to be going through a bit of a shift at the moment, things changing and moving around quite quickly at the moment for a lot of people. So I'm just sort of wanting to look into the idea of change at the moment. All right, so I'm going to be starting off with Aries. How are we today, Aries? So just looking at what's changing for Aries. What's changing for Aries, please? Would you believe? First card out, and I have the change card, Aries. I'm going to grab you a third card. I am just sort of doing quick 2-card readings today, but I'm going to grab a third one because we're asking what's changing, and change is changing for you, Aries, apparently. So you obviously are one of the signs going through a lot of change at the moment. Okay, so the change card, just I'll make sure I do include it, does say, I understand that nothing can grow or evolve without movement. Okay, so it does warn you, Aries, that there is a lot of changes happening for you at the moment, but that does mean moving out of your comfort zone a little bit as well. Sometimes change can be a really positive thing, but it can also, be a bit rough to go through at the time. All right. We also have pride coming through, Aries. So that does say, I love myself and I see myself in everyone. Okay. So it does talk about, have pride in yourself. When you see things you like about other people, stop and recognize those own things within yourself. I feel, Aries, that for you personally, being over prideful is probably not the problem. It's probably the fact that you don't have enough pride in yourself. All right, so it really does show us that that is starting to change. All right, and the way that we can help instigate that change is to start looking at others and seeing the good in others that you can also actually find within yourself as well. Looking at yourself through somebody else's eyes, maybe, for some of you there. We're also seeing balance coming through, Aries. So, that's a beautiful card to see the things that you have felt unbalanced in starting to shift and change into a much more balanced arena for you there. It does say, I bring a state of perfect harmony into my world, and I do so without judgment. All right. So Aries, stop judging yourself. Okay. Stop, when you are looking at other people and seeing all the good in others, stop judging yourself as not having those same qualities, because I'm sure if you actually stop and look, you probably do. It's just a matter of recognition. All right. But, the things that we admire the most in others usually are a representation of ourselves. Just the same as, when you look at someone and, something triggers you about that person that you really don't like about that person, it's kind of triggering you because it is reflecting something of you as well. So it's really that finding that balance and, leveling out yourself emotionally and being able to adapt to these changes coming in for you, Aries. All right, so that's what we have for you, Aries. So we'll move over to our Taurus. How are we today, Taurus? Just looking at change today. What is changing for Taurus? What is changing for Taurus, please? Okay, very interesting, Taurus. We have doubt and fear coming through. So obviously, that is starting to change for you. So all your self-doubt, all your self-fears are starting to change, and you're starting to recognize that, something is coming from your own personal doubt or your own personal fear. Pardon, Taurus. So doubt, that does say, I release the need to know all the answers. Okay, so when you're feeling doubtful that something is going to happen, you don't need to know that it is or is not going to happen. You just need to have the confidence that it can happen. Okay, so don't hold those doubts, especially not self-doubt. You can achieve anything you put your mind to, and that doubt is starting to be removed for you. So really, really, looking at yourself in the sense of, I don't need to know all the answers, but I'm happy to, take things as they come and remove that doubt. So it's removing all the negative thinking side of things, removing all the that'll never happen for me, that this will never work out, this will never be mine, removing those doubts. Okay, and starting to think along the lines of, that could happen for me. Can you imagine how great that will be if that happens? Like I said, you don't need to know that it is or is not going to happen. It's having that positive outlook that it could happen. All right. And fear as well. So that does say, I realize that I am testing my resolve to live in the energy of love. Okay, so that really talks about starting to choose love and coming from a place of love with everything that you do rather than coming from a place of fear. Fear is something, that brings up doubts. That's what makes us doubt ourselves so strongly. We have the fear that it will not work out. So as we see that you start moving into this energy of, you know what, it might not work out, but I love trying. I just love that energy of hoping that it could work out. And, I'm just going to give this as much love as I possibly can. I'm going to remove my doubts. I'm going to remove my fear of the outcome that I do not know. And, remove that doubt and fear from your life and really start to move forward in a much more loving manner toward life itself, but definitely yourself, Taurus. All right. So we'll move over to our Geminis. How are we today, Gemini? So what is changing for our Geminis? What's changing for Gemini? Okay, Gemini. Firstly, we have it's a bit of a harder issue to deal with, but we do have the death card. Okay, so whether for you this is an actual death in your life, or if this is just the death of a situation, the ending of a situation, we are sort of starting to move away from that. That is changing. The ending is starting to melt away. It does say here, I am learning that endings are merely beginnings. Okay, so every time we see, death, the representation of death, whether that's a physical death or that metaphysical death, where it's like the death of a situation, that energy transforms into brand new beginnings. Okay, so we're definitely seeing some beginnings slowly starting to come in for you. That death vibe has moved on. We're changing that and we're moving into the new beginnings now, Gemini. So, embrace those new beginnings coming in, and embrace that those things in the past have ended for the reason, whatever the reason was, they have ended. Even if that reason is just so that brand new things can come your way. All right. But we also do have the gratitude card, okay? So that does say, I am thankful for this life and the opportunities that it presents. Okay, so those new beginnings, all brand new opportunities headed your way, Gemini. You may have struggled with showing your gratitude in the past, but that's starting to change for you, and you are sort of starting to learn how to show gratitude, not only to those around you, the universe, but also to yourself. Being grateful for every day that you wake up and the world isn't full of zombies or whatever it may be. Okay, we can all be grateful for that, right? But whatever gratefulness and gratitude means to you, Gemini, I feel as though some of you have definitely struggled with gratitude in the past and being grateful for the things that are in your life. So it's really starting to let you know to stop and look around and see all the beautiful things in your life that you do have already, okay? Rather than focusing on what you don't have, it's all about focusing on what you do have. And something I've always found very useful when it comes to gratitude is, when you see something in your life that you're grateful for, stopping and saying to yourself, wow, that's amazing. Thank you so much for me having that thing in my life. But I would like more of that. That emotion that brings up in you. Thank you so much. More, please. All right, that's a quick little thing you can do every time you stop and think about something lovely. Remember that it's okay to ask for more of that same feeling. All right. Now we're moving over to Cancer. How are we today, Cancer? Just looking today at what's changing for you in your life. What's changing for Cancer, please? What is changing for Cancer? Okay, Cancer. Firstly, we do have the card of balance here. That does say, I bring a state of perfect harmony into my world, and I do so without judgment. All right, so we definitely are looking at changing the way you judge yourself. Okay, Cancer. Stop judging yourself so harshly and try to move forward into balance. Okay, it's fine to, look at things and think, the worst that could happen, but you also do need to think of what's the best that could happen. Finding that balance with everything. Every time you have a negative thought, have a positive thought to counteract that. Find that balance, okay? So if you do find you are someone who does, have a lot of negative thoughts, every time you do that and you add in a positive as well, every time you think something negative about yourself, think about something positive about yourself. It's going to really help you find that balance and move forwards in a more balanced way as well. But we could actually be looking at a joint message here as well, because, you may have been in a little bit of turmoil recently when it comes to friendship. All right, so we're going to start seeing friendships balancing out a lot for you as well. So that does talk when we're looking at friendships balancing out, we're talking about that give and take. All right, so if you've been giving a lot to relationships and not receiving in return, that is going to start balancing out for you as well. But that friendship card does say, I understand that a friend is in my life for a reason. All right, so certain people in our life, maybe they're to teach us lessons, maybe they're to, be advisors, mentors for us. They may be there to support us through our journey. All right, and it's okay, no matter what reason that person is in your life. That's why they're there. Okay, so but when we are finding that balance, if you are someone that you've been finding that you've been needing a lot of extra support lately, make sure you're giving back to those friendships as well and finding that balance. Okay, so and vice versa, if you've been giving too much to certain people, ask them for a bit of extra support with something, find that balance, okay, and those people are in your life for a reason. Cancer. So a bit of faith there as well, having that balance coming through to your friendships. Okay. I did, it was within the last month or so, I did do a friendship and platonic as well as a platonic relationship reading. So that those may be of interest to you as well, Cancer. But we'll move on to Leo. How are we today, Leo? Just looking at what's changing for you. What's changing for Leo, please? What is changing for Leo? Firstly, we have loneliness, Leo. Okay, so I know that Leos are, the very stand out from the crowd type of people, but that kind of energy can sometimes, make you feel alone, even in a crowded room full of people. So loneliness has been something that you have dealt with in the past, Leo, but that is changing for you. Okay, it does say, I know that I am never alone. All right. So even if you do feel very isolated within your own self, within your own life, it really does talk about, making that change to, if you, whatever you believe in, whether that be God, your angels, whatever, to know that you are never alone, that there is always people around you or, you know, external powers around you that do want to love and support you, Leo. Okay, so sometimes we just need to ask for that help, and that's totally fine. All right, so it's fine for you to, even though you may be an outgoing Leo, even if you're not an outgoing Leo, sometimes it is hard to let people know, look, I just want to spend some time with you. I want to hang out so that I'm not feeling quite so alone. It's learning how to feel more connected to the people that are already in your life. And if you don't have that many people in your life, maybe going out there, Leo, and finding ways to be connected to people. There's a lot of online groups you can join that you do, a lot of the time find that sense of community. There's always things you can sort of do as well, like in the real world, like joining a sports group or things like that as well. All right, but that's changing for you, Leo. So if you have been feeling lonely, that is starting to change for you, okay? But I do feel that with that loneliness energy, sometimes we do need to be a little bit more proactive about that as well. But we're also seeing the denial card, Leo. So that actually says, I acknowledge my fear, but I replace it with the insight of awareness. So it feels like with this card, Leo, there are some big truths being revealed to you at this time, just within yourself. Things that you've been in a little bit of denial about, things that you may have been telling yourself, I don't feel emotional about that thing, actually starting to become aware that, you know what, I kind of do, and that's okay. All right, you don't need to have judgment on that. It's that awareness that really helps you deal with that denial, but that is starting to change. So I do feel as though we've got some big personal revelations coming through for you, Leo. So that process may have already started for some of you as well. There may be something in particular that you have felt that you've been in a little bit of denial about. I do feel for majority of you that we're looking at a specific emotion, or an emotional connection to something that you've been in a bit of denial about, feeling like you have no emotion toward that thing or person, but you're actually starting to realize that you do, and that that's okay. All right, no matter, even if those emotions are, not the easiest to deal with, it's okay to have those emotions, because the more that you can become aware of those, the quicker you can deal with those and move forward from those as well. Okay, Leo? All right, so we'll move over to Virgo. Hi Virgo, how are we today? I'm just looking at what's changing for you at the moment. What's changing for Virgo? What is changing for Virgo? Okay, so I feel as though these actually go together and it's sort of one message rather than two separate cards. Firstly, we do have the friendship card, but then we also have the worry card. So I do feel as though, for a lot of Virgos out there, you probably have been worried about a specific friendship or the idea of friendship in general and how to create new friends and whatnot. Those particular cards, the friendship card does say, I understand that a friend is in my life for a reason. I do feel some of you may be worried about why did a certain friend cut you off or something like that. So that may be just one or two of you out there who has had someone cut you out and you're kind of worried about why did that happen? But there was a reason. There was an underlying reason. You don't even need to know that. But, obviously that's just not a part of your journey right now to be, in that person's life or them in yours. Okay. But we do see that worry card there. It does say, I am learning that worry doesn't change an outcome. All right. So worrying about it doesn't fix it. All right, so what we're seeing there is that that's actually changing for you, though. So if you have been worrying about a specific aspect of friendships or a particular person, anything like that, that is starting to change. All right, and those worries are, being removed, and you're not having to sort of worry about potential outcomes anymore. We do find that when we're worried about potential outcomes, it's kind of irrelevant because what's going to happen is going to happen no matter how much we worry about it. Okay, if it's supposed to happen that way, it will happen that way. If it's not, it will not. All right, so there's no point worrying about that which is out of your control. Control the aspects that you can control, and no point worrying about that which you cannot. All right, but friendships obviously you may be experiencing some changes in friendships at the moment, Virgo. And that's totally okay. No need to worry about it because everything is going to sort of balance out for you when it comes to that. I do feel for some of you, we're actually going to be getting a brand new friend coming into our lives soon, Virgo. So, and I want to say too that I'm getting that energy of that giving and taking as well. So if you have been worried because you feel like a certain friend is, taking too much and you just giving to that relationship and they're not giving anything in return, that will soon change as well, and that will sort of balance back out as well. All right, Virgo. So that's what we've got for you. So we'll move over to Libra. How are we today, Libra? I'm just looking at what's coming. What's coming for our Libras, please? What's coming for Libra? I keep saying what's coming for Libra. Oh, that's very interesting, Libra. I am doing a reading today that is supposed to be what's changing for Libra. Okay, so, wow, interesting, Libra. We'll see what comes out. What is changing for our Libras, please? There we go, Libra. So it's changing and it's coming because it's coming right for you. Happiness soon around the corner for you, Libra. If you've had issues with happiness in the past and you've been feeling a bit, bleh, or sad or whatever it is for you particularly, happiness is on its way. Okay, I do feel that vibe. It's coming straight for you, Libra. It does say, I am aware that being happy means that I'm on the right path. All right. So it lets us know as well that you are on the right path and that happiness is soon to be, the main feature of your life, Libra. That's, what more can you ask for, right? We also have the Pride card, Libra. Now that does say, I love myself and I see myself in everyone. All right. So when we're talking about pride, a lot of the time, what is changing is that you need to be more prideful of who you are and, the things that you have in this world, on a soul level. Okay. It's looking at others, not in a jealous way, not in a, how come they're so this or that and I'm not, but it's actually starting to recognize that like attracts like. All right. And so those things that you see in others, they're probably actually a reflection of you yourself, Libra. So if you're looking at some, especially with, I feel with happiness, if you're looking at someone and wondering, why is their life so happy? Why are they so happy? Not only are you not seeing, every single minute of every single day and, happy, like someone that looks happy doesn't necessarily mean that they are happy, but also recognizing that if someone else is looking as though they can be that happy, you definitely can too, all right? And finding a bit more pride within yourself. So that's what's changing for you, Libra. You will be finding a little bit more pride in yourself, in your actions, in the way that you hold yourself, in the things that you have in your life, the things that you have as a person, as a soul in this world. It's not shameful to have pride in yourself, Libra. Okay, so moving on to Scorpio. How are we today, Scorpio? Just looking at what's changing for Scorpio. What is changing for Scorpio? Scorpio, discipline, okay? It does say, I can accomplish what I set my mind to. All right, so if you're finding, Scorpio, that in the past you have had a little bit of trouble staying on the right course of what it is that you want, staying disciplined. I feel that for some of you, this is strictly talking about, like physical discipline, like, the idea of I have to get up at this time, I have to go for a walk and exercise, I have to eat this, I have to eat that. You're going to find yourself, all of a sudden kind of being a lot more able to do those things and not fight yourself so much when it comes to self-discipline. You're going to find it a lot easier to stop yourself from doing the things that you don't really want to do, and fight that temptation, so to speak. So I do feel for a lot of you, this is actually talking about, food and exercise specifically. I don't know why I'm feeling that, but it is sort of coming through that it's talking about diet and exercise. All right. So for some of you, if you have been, feeling that you've had a lot of trouble sticking to a diet or sticking to an exercise plan, you are actually going to be starting to, find that self-discipline and be able to stick to that a lot easier, just for yourself. So that's always a positive, I suppose. But we also have balance coming through, Scorpio. So finding that sense of balance with, not only your self-discipline, but with everything in your life. Balance really does talk about finding the balance between the negative and the positive. Okay, so when it comes to discipline, especially, it's kind of, don't beat you every time you start beating yourself up because, oh, I fell to that temptation. I ate that donut when I'm trying to be on a diet. Balance is all about, every time you have that negative thought, about something that, I'm so bad, I felt to that temptation, bringing in a positive thought as well. That's okay. I broke my diet today, but tomorrow that will give me even double the incentive to make sure that I stick to it tomorrow. So, and I do find with that idea too, that balance and that self-discipline, that I want to say, Scorpio, that reward is your friend. Okay, so finding that balance of how we can actually be disciplined sometimes involves self-reward as well. All right, so if I stick to my diet for 5 days, on the sixth day, I can have a donut. Makes it a lot more bearable, doesn't it? And balancing that out, not going overboard with these sorts of things either. and allowing yourself to have that little treat at the end of the week or whatever it is for you, okay? But the balance card, it does say, I bring a state of perfect harmony into my world, and I do so without judgment. Okay, so you definitely not judging yourself if you do fall to temptation, if you're feeling as though you haven't stuck to your discipline, whatever that is for you, your the disciplined thing that you're trying to, stay strict with yourself on at the moment. I feel for a lot of you, don't judge yourself. You know, like we have said, balance is okay. Just balance it out another way. And if you find that you are negatively judging yourself, bring in a positive thought as well. So I did this wrong this week, but do you know what? I did this really well this week as well. All right, so making sure we've got those positives to balance out any negatives at the moment, Scorpio. All right, so moving on to our Saggies. How are we today, Sagittarius? Just looking at what is changing for you. What's changing for Sagittarius, please? Okay, Sagittarius. Acceptance, firstly, there. That does say, I am learning to accept the things that I cannot change. Okay, so I feel for a lot of you Sagittarius, this has been a bit of a struggle to have acceptance that you cannot control everything, that some things are going to happen a certain way, whether you like it or not. Some people are going to act a certain way, whether you like it or not. But I feel that for majority of you, this is actually talking about self-acceptance, accepting yourself the way that you are, and the way that you are is beautiful, Sagittarius. So we are looking at the idea of acceptance in all aspects of your life, being able to accept, this is me, this is my life, this is the bad things, these are the good things. I accept them all, and we can move on from that, okay? And acceptance of your emotions as well, I want to say. So if we're feeling sad, I feel sad today. That's fine. I feel happy today. That's awesome. And accepting those emotions is the first step to actually dealing with those emotions and moving through them. All right. So if you are feeling, having a bad day or whatever, accept, I'm having a bad day. That's fine. Hopefully tomorrow's going to be better. So acceptance, letting life flow. All right, Sagittarius. We also do have the purpose card. Okay, that does say, I know what I am here to do. So really moving forward into the future with a sense of purpose. All right, even if this is just the smallest things, and I know what to do tomorrow. Acceptance, moving forward, go with the flow. But having that sense of purpose. All right, I do feel for a lot of you that this acceptance actually brings more purpose into your life as kind of a flow on effect. All right, and that purpose for some of you, I do feel as though that's talking about higher purpose as well. So some of you are going to start to realize certain things in your life that you do have this need to follow that path, and I feel as though a few of you are going to start to realize that, hang on, this thing happened in my life for a specific purpose, and that purpose is so that I can now use that knowledge, use that lesson I learned from that thing. I'm going to say probably a bad thing. Use the knowledge I learned from that thing, and reinvent my purpose, to purposefully avoid that same thing happening again, even. So I'm just getting that strong sense that for a few of you, you are going to actually be finding out your actual higher purpose in this life. So whatever that means for you, for some of you, this is going to be like a spiritual purpose, just within yourself, just within you emotionally purpose. But for some of you, it's a career thing. All right. So for some of you, you may be realizing you're not in the career you truly want to be in, and you are actually starting to realize your true, career purpose in this life, and that you've learnt things from all these other jobs or whatever, and it's actually led you to follow this specific purpose, career-wise. So that's just for some of you there. Sorry, I was just picking that up intuitively, so I wanted to just let you know about that as well. Okay, but moving on to our Capricorns. How are we today, Capricorn? What's changing for our Cappies? What is changing for our Capricorns, please? What's changing for our Capricorns? Okay, firstly, we have imagination. All right, so it does say, I embrace and nourish the creative aspect of my mind. All right, so really going to find your imagination running wild with you, I feel, in these next few weeks, Capricorn, and let it. All right, because your imagination is going to be cluing you into some big things in the next few weeks, I feel. All right, you've got some big changes coming through. And I really want to say, if you can dream it, you can do it. All right, if you can imagine it, you can have it. I don't, that's just intuitive, Capricorn, but imagination, it does talk about, clearly imagining where you want your life to go, and knowing that, there's no limit to your imagination, and that you can actually manifest all these things that you are imagining. Okay, so I feel like for a lot of you that this is talking about you have no limits, Capricorn, and literally, if you can imagine it, you can have it. Because the next card we do have is the abundance card. All right, so that is changing for you. So if you've been feeling like you're missing out on some things in your life, pardon, especially when it comes to money and material wealth, we do have abundance coming straight for you, Capricorn. This is changing. Okay, so whatever your current idea on abundance is, use your imagination once again, Capricorn, because even if you feel like you are quite abundant in your life at the moment, that is just going to be changing and increasing. This is coming through like forcefully, like honestly, it feels like an abundance of change as well. Just everything you can imagine, and then probably some that you can't even, not even your imagination can prepare for these things, Capricorn. But it feels like everything that you can imagine is increasing and becoming more abundant for you in your life. All right, so make sure you're using that imagination at the moment to really delve into what you want to become more abundant in your life, because it's definitely there for the taking. It's coming in pretty strong today, Capricorn. It does say, I am a limitless being and I can manifest whatever I desire in this physical reality. So, yeah, use that imagination to manifest, Capricorn. If you don't know much about how to manifest or anything like that, I highly suggest looking up, some manifestation meditations, or learn a little bit more about manifestation. Now is the time to manifest your dreams, Capricorn. It's all there for the taking. And like I said, if you can imagine it, you can get it. All right, you can manifest it into your reality as well. So bring it on. I'm a Capricorn as well, guys, so bring it on. All right. Okay, so moving over to Aquarius. How are we today, Aquarius? Just looking at what's changing for you. What's changing for our Aquarians? Okay, Aquarius. Firstly, we have forgiveness. All right. So that does say, I acknowledge that harboring resentment blocks the flow of love. All right. So if you've really struggled forgiving somebody for certain actions, words, behaviors in the past, you are going to reconcile within yourself. All right. I've got a sneeze right there. I forgive myself for my sneezes. If I do sneeze, forgive me, please. Okay, but forgiveness. All right, I'm being a bit silly there. Sorry, Aquarius, but I acknowledge that harboring resentment blocks the flow of love. Okay, so really be aware of any resentments you may be holding on to, and really, really start to move into this change of forgiveness for not just others, but for yourself as well. So if you hold resentment and regret against yourself for anything, start to let go of that, Aquarius. Easier said than done, I know, but be aware that it is blocking the flow of love for you at this time, but that is changing. Okay, so you will find forgiveness for this person, for yourself. You will find forgiveness. And if this is, I feel that for a couple of you, this is actually flipped. So you are waiting on somebody's forgiveness, and just know that that is coming. Okay, their forgiveness is coming soon. All right. We also have failure. All right. So straight away, forgive yourself for any past failures as well, Aquarius. It does say, I understand that a mistake is only an opportunity to learn. All right. So forgive yourself for any mistakes that you have made in the past, and start to realize that they are opportunities to learn. All right. And with this being in the change reading, you are starting to learn those lessons that you have needed to learn from your past mistakes. And they're no longer failures, okay? They were just blips on the map, all right? So they were just, what do you call them? Speed bumps on the path, all right? Detour on your path. Sometimes we do need to make a mistake in order to learn exactly where to go next and how to avoid that same mistake in the future. All right. So that's what we've got for you today, Aquarius. So last and not least, of course, moving on to Pisces. How are we today, Pisces? Looking at what's changing for our Pisces. What's changing for Pisces, please? Failure, Pisces. So, it does say here, I understand that a mistake is only an opportunity to learn. We did just have this same card for Aquarius as well. So if you do have Aquarius placements, you may want to check that section too. But it does talk about, any mistakes that you have made in the past, anything that you feel as though, you failed at something, or you were a failure, or anything like that. That's changing for you. You're actually starting to learn those lessons and use them as opportunities to grow as a person. All right. Pardon me, Pisces. I understand that a mistake is only an opportunity to learn. All right. So sometimes we need these speed bumps in the road so that we know to slow down next time we see a speed bump. It is at that opportunity so that you don't make the same mistake in the future. All right. So, accept that you may have made mistakes. Everybody does. To err is to be human. Okay. But using those mistakes to avoid making those same mistakes in the future is what's changing for you, and that means that you've learnt these lessons, you've learnt from these past failures. You're not going to make these same mistakes again, Pisces. So that actually is quite a positive thing to be changing for you. Nobody wants to, feel like a failure in the past, or in a certain situation or anything like that. And that is changing for you. You've learnt those lessons. You're learning those lessons and moving forward. We do have freedom coming through as well, Pisces. So that does say, I possess the power and the free will to create my own happiness. All right. So in the past, you've been feeling very restricted by things, by people, feeling very restricted. So what's changing for you now is that you are finding this inner freedom within yourself to find your own happiness and learn, once again, learn what your own happiness even is for you. Okay, not make those mistakes in the past, and actually focus on freeing yourself from those past failures and moving forward. I really am, I want to say, spreading your wings, Pisces, and taking flight, heading on into the future, with that power and that free will, as it said, to really create your own happiness. So definitely a lot of happiness headed your way, Pisces. So spread those fishy little wings and fly. There is a flying fish in the ocean. So you can still fly even if you're a fish, okay, Pisces? But you have the freedom. Even fish have freedom. They have the whole ocean to explore, right? So start exploring, Pisces. I feel that now really is the time to, rid yourself of all that past emotion and those past mistakes, and really start exploring what that means for you from here. All right, so that's what we have for you today. I just want to thank everyone for sticking with it through the video. It wasn't only a short video today, but I will be uploading again tomorrow. As always, I do try to upload every single day. Occasionally needing an extra day off or whatever, but I may possibly be taking an extra day this weekend. I'm not entirely sure as of yet. I do have quite a busy few weeks coming up for me. But thank you all so much for your time today. Make sure you leave a comment so you can go in the draw for that free personal reading. But hopefully I will see you all again soon. Thank you.